Hey guys, welcome back to Nikke. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to try and beat the power cap in the game. So we're going to talk about what it is and then go through my strategies on trying to bump up over limits of the power cap so that you can keep progressing your account. Because even though I don't like the system, I just play the hand I'm dealt, so I'll try and give you guys the best tips that I have to try and progress through it. But the first thing is, if you haven't noticed, over the last day, it's been everywhere. I had a lot of people message me, but I just wanted to do some testing, figure some stuff out first. So if we go over to the campaign, and this applies to everywhere, I believe, Tower as well, but there's a really easy test that we will do to demonstrate to you what's going on. But basically, the further below the recommended power you go, you get like more and more stats reduced off of your characters. I believe people were saying that as soon as you go below the power limit, the recommended power of the enemy, you lose like 25% of stats. Now, this was some guys in JP that were figuring this out. I haven't done the exact numbers, but I can show you a really obvious example. But for me on this one, this is my still day one of this account, and honestly, the double pilgrim has been quite OP because this is where my other account that's like day 5 is at as well. But basically, what happens is, as you can see, I'm about, what am I, like 1200 below the recommended, and this account's been going between anywhere from 1000 to 2000 power deficit. Different stages are still going to be different depending on how hard the stage is and stuff like that. But what happens is you lose stats, essentially. If you're below the power of the enemy, the recommended power, you just lose stats. And it's believed that the further you go down, the more you lose. However, I don't think it's linear. If it was linear, it wouldn't be as bad. But I think it feels like it's segmented. I'm leaning towards like in 500 level, 500 power windows. Could be 250, something like that. But I'll do a really simple example and show you guys. So what we're gonna do is, you can see my power level here is, what is it? It's so hard to read these numbers. 11,005. So I'm actually 1,300 below the recommended. So we're going to jump in and we're going to take a look at specifically my Scarlet. Now, I didn't come up with this way of testing it. I just saw someone on Reddit do it, so I'm just copying the same thing for ease of use in the video. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at my Scarlet's damage. Then we're going to take the rest of the team out and just have Scarlet so that my team's power goes lower. And then you'll see the damage that Scarlet deals when the rest of the team is out, and my overall team power is much lower than the recommended. So let's just jump into this one. We're not going to spend too long in it. We're just going to take a quick look. Where is she? Scarlet. So for Scarlet, for instance, here we go. So she's doing like 575, 575, 598 for a crit, 718, 575. You get the idea. She's doing numbers. So let's jump out. Let's jump out of that. It's a bit laggy. Let's jump out, and then I'll show you the alternative, which if I go to squad formation, and I go over here to, let's just remove them. Screw it. So we remove everyone and only Scarlet's in the team. Now we go retry. This is where you'll see a drastic difference. Now, I'm hoping smarter people than me do the testing of like the ranges of where it happens, because if we can get that info, it'll be even more handy to try and work around it, reach like maybe upgrade gear to get to certain limit points to be able to keep progressing. But what you'll see here is when you look at my Scarlet, every number she deals is a 1. Now it should be, I'm not saying it should be exactly the same as what it was before, because she doesn't have teammates with buffs and stuff, but I mean, it should be like in that 500 range, not just ones. So that is the effect of it, and as you can see, as you get too low, they basically just cancel out your entire damage. Now, like I said, I'm not a fan of this, but hey, instead of just complaining, I'll try and give you guys some tips of what you can do to sort of like boost your power and optimize progression, because it really does change the way I think about progression in this game, because it's different to a lot of idle games. A lot of idle games that you play is you have your main damage dealer or something like that, and you level them like above the other units. Now, this game, from the start, it hasn't felt like that, just because if you level one much higher, then if the others die, you can't access your burst. So it's different mechanically as well. So I have never really liked in this game leveling one at like further advanced. But in this one, you definitely want to level your units evenly. If we go here and you check my Nikkes, you definitely want to level them evenly. You don't want to get one, like I wouldn't want my like Scarlet at level 80 and everyone else at level 60. You want to level them evenly because that's going to give your account power the most boost, and that is the important thing. Now, the next thing I want to look at is going to be stars. So as you can see here on my Arya, I actually pulled a duplicate copy of her, and now even though I want to try something like Julia in my team, it's going to cost me overall team power if I swap her out. So at the moment, I'm just going to leave her in for that team power. Let's say you've got 2 units. One's at 0 stars, one's at 1 star. Say that this is just theoretical. Say the 0 star unit is 10% better than the 1 star unit, but the 1 star unit might mean you lose 15% less stats in the battle just because of your team power. That unit is then going to be better. And on that topic of the stars, it leads me into the SRs. Now, this isn't a massive difference. It's different between characters. Between her and my Pepper, when Pepper was at level 60, they had about a 10 power difference. She was 1853, my Pepper was 1843, both ungeared. Now, as I go across into a tank, it's a bigger gap because that's 36 and that's 53, but it might be due to the different tank stats and stuff like that. There is a small difference between an SR at 2 star and an SSR at no star, but you know, at the end of the day, most SSRs are going to just trash on SRs, so unless it's a unique use, which sometimes I find use for this chick because I don't have a buffer as a burst 1, you're probably not going to notice a massive difference from it, but definitely worth something to check anyway. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is doing the advisories, getting gifts and gifting your Nikkes. Obviously, that is going to give them stats as they go up, so you want to do that as well because, hey, free stats are free stats, and if you're lacking the gifts to give them, don't forget to go to the messages over here. There's 2 ways to do it. First, you can do the Nikkes themselves. Sometimes it will give them their own affection. Sometimes they will give you gifts that you can give to any Nikke. So it's worth doing all of them, not just the ones you're using. And then these, don't forget to do these quests because you will get normally the top rarity gifts that you can give to a Nikke and, you know, get the upgrade. So those are very important as well. Now, moving on past that, I want to talk about gear. So gear is a very interesting one because it does get expensive as you get into higher quality gear. But I can't show you these gears at the moment, but basically the testing that I did was I took a piece of gear. Now, each slot upgrades a little bit differently in the amount of stats they give. You know what? Let's actually go to a piece of gear that's not upgraded. Okay, so with this, I just found an example I could do. But basically, when you upgrade this, sometimes it's a little bit different. Sometimes the second upgrade is like 1 less, and sometimes the first upgrade is 1 less. I think it's like they might have decimal places in there and they don't show them. But in general, you want to upgrade your gear evenly, like get all pieces to level 1, all pieces to level 2. You don't want to just level 1 piece up to level 3 because you don't want to upgrade gear too much because it does become a waste of credits. For whales, you're pretty good, but for free to play, you want to conserve those credits. So when you're trying to upgrade your entire account power, go through your main 5 characters and just upgrade all their gear to 1. Then you can upgrade all their gear to 2. And it's the most efficient way to do it based on credits because you don't want to run out of credits, especially as free to play. So what I'm going to do here is show you that basically this one here is going to cost me 600 credits to upgrade. And she's going to go from 1984 to 1987. So now I'm going to do it again, and it's going to cost me double the credits. So she went from 84 to 87. This might go up by 4 this time instead of 3. We'll see. No, it's gone up by 3. So those 2 upgrades went up in power the exact same amount. However, the second one was double the cost. So if you're looking at pure account power, because it's no longer about the stats on the character, it's about just the power of the character to get yourself less gimped, basically. So if you're trying to upgrade the power of your account, then you want to upgrade the gear evenly as well. It's kind of like the levels. All you're looking for is that power so that you don't get handicapped as far. But those are the main tips I have. If you guys have any other tips about, like, you know, min-maxing your power increases along the way, let me know. But that's the best things I've got at the moment. Like I said, level your characters up evenly, level your gear up evenly if you're looking to that. Use units that you've got duplicates of with stars to see if that can break you past a limit where maybe you don't get, you know, crippled by 50%. Instead, you're only getting crippled by 25% or something like that. Once again, I will give you guys more information once we find out more about like the brackets on where it changes. But I think from what people were testing, if you do normal damage, you get normal stats if you're above the power, recommended power. But as soon as you go under it, apparently you lose like 25% of your stats, which is quite hefty. But anyway, guys, once again, let me know if you find anything out. But thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I'll look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.